On your mark, get set. Let's go.
I can't do it. We'll do it live. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Mister, will you please wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up?
Good morning, Kevin Durant. You should have left California.
This bronze sexual upset me in having to bring this teenage idiot from Wisconsin into a sports conversation. Are you really surprised that the Cowboys are giving up on Ezekiel Elliott?
Whoa. Hell no! Well, no one cares about baseball.
Bitch, are you for real?
Oh, yeah. Oh, brother. Time to put this week to rest and time to end this the right way. Good morning. Welcome to the fabulous, fantastic football Friday edition of Snowman in the Morning. Glad to have y'all with us. I will be here for a very short time. Something has come up with Jody, and I need to join her in Indianapolis. But y'all will see me. You will see Cole. You will see the rest of the crew. They will handle the show the rest of the way. A big welcome to those of you listening. I forgot. Big welcome to those of you listening on WIRUDB in Chicago. Big welcome to those of you listening on SM Sportsnet and SM Sportsnet 2, as well as WLEO 26.7 in Baltimore. A welcome to those of you watching on CSTV, and those of you that are listening to that are watching us on the BS3 network. No Sam, no Ben this morning. I completely forgot. But there's just one story I'm going to touch in the whip around, and it's a very, very sad one. Those of you who follow wrestling already know what happened. This is going to be tough for me to read and for me to talk about, but it must be done. WWE superstar Bray Wyatt, who fascinated wrestling fans with his dark persona and brought the highly praised The Fiend character to the ring, died Thursday at the very young age of 36. Chief Content Officer Paul Levesque, aka Triple H, announced Wyatt's death on social media. Triple H said, quote, "Just received a call from WWE Hall of Famer Mike Rotunda, who informed us of the tragic news that our family member for life, Wyndham Rotunda, also known as Bray Wyatt, unexpectedly passed earlier today. Our thoughts are with his family, and we ask that everyone respect their privacy at this time." A third-generation wrestler, Wyatt joined WWE's developmental brand NXT in 2010 under the name Husky Harris. He went on to be a part of the Nexus faction that feuded with John Cena. But Wyatt rose to stardom as leader of the Wyatt family, a cult-like group with sinister ideologies that also featured the late Luke Harper and Eric Rowan. Golly, man. The faction became a hit with fans. With their entrance, the lights turned off and the crowd shining their flashlights, giving a backwoods feel to arenas. Being among the best in WWE at the time, years later, the group added Braun Strowman. Yeah. After the Wyatt family broke up, Wyatt debuted the Firefly Funhouse, which were a series of clips aired in a children's-style program with Wyatt portraying a happy, fun character with some diabolical moments sprinkled in. Soon the evil would take over Wyatt, and in the ring he debuted the Fiend wearing a demon-like mask with red eyes. And the reason, a heart attack at 36. This is tough. A whole bunch of us were talking about it on social media last evening. And something that Cole Johnson said, it can't wrap my head around this one. I can't either. Shane Lake, the big dog, was the first one in. He said Bray was truly one of the most creative minds in all of WWE. Now the gates above will have to let him in, and I'm sure Brody Lee is waiting for him with open arms. I know it. It's the toughest thing to wrap my head around right now. It hurts because there was so much they could have done with his character, and I was waiting for his return. I hope he and Brody Lee are chilling in heaven, creating the Wyatt family up there. I concur, Victor. I concur. A Pizzle joins us from Florida. He says he could turn any angle, whether the feud was a good one or not, into gold with every inflection from his promos. Wrestling suffered a huge loss yesterday. R.I.P. Wyndham Rotunda, a.k.a. Bray Wyatt. Yeah. All of that entire sentence and then some, Pizzle. All of that and then some. As Zelina Vega said in her IG post, fireflies fly forever. Yeah, they do. I'm going to have a sip of a toast in his honor. This is French vanilla iced coffee. That's the brew for today. This is for Bray Wyatt. A.K.a. Wyndham Rotunda. Third generation wrestler. How many people can say that? How many people can say, man, oh man. How many people can say they're a third generation wrestler? How many people can say they're a third generation anything? What's sad about all this? Dude was my age. Exactly. And we're paying tribute to Bray Wyatt in this opening segment. So drop your thoughts in the chat and I'll read them all. Fun fact, there was a collection of videos called Superstar Ghost Stories. Bray Wyatt's was one called The Man in the Woods. The description was the Fiend. He was ahead of his time. Yeah, he was. It's like Shane said, one of the most creative minds in all of WWE, man. Wize is here with us. Good morning to you, my friend. Sergeant Klein, I want to read that right. Sergeant Klein says, to be honest with you, he was the Undertaker of our era. Yeah, he was. And good morning to Wize and all in the chat. This first segment we're doing, usually it's the whip around, but we're paying tribute to Wyndham Rotunda, a.k.a. Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt, for those of you who don't know, passed away yesterday at the tender age of 36. And I say very, very tender age. Very tender. He was just starting. Do y'all believe? I think that's Pumpkin behind me. Yeah, that was Pumpkin. Do y'all believe that it was? I don't have any thoughts right now. I don't have a thought right now. I'm just so sad for him passing away at 36, man. And then couple this with the fact that Terry Funk passed away on Wednesday. It's eerie how wrestlers pass away are very close to each other. Terry Funk passed away, and a short time later, Bray leaves us. Yeah, it's a tough week. Thank you, Wize. It's a tough week for pro wrestling. Very tough week. It's just not fair that superstars leave us when they're just discovering their prime. Now here's Cole Johnson here with us this morning, back from his safe travels. Glad you are back in one piece, sir. And
thank you.
You hear Pumpkin in the background mourning the loss of Bray Wyatt. He was come here, Pumpkin. See, even Pumpkin's mourning the loss. You know, I think I'm inclined to think that he saw when I just happened to catch a wrestling program last year, and he was in the house with me. He just got hooked, didn't you, Pumpkin? Mm-hmm. But how couldn't you? How couldn't you, to such a creative mind and such a wonderful character and a wonderful person who portrayed the character?
Yeah.
That's tough. Mm-hmm. That's just so tough. Well, we wish the Wyatt family, the Rotunda family rather, and all the fans of Bray Wyatt the absolute best. And the same with the Funk family. And I remember Terry with World Class Championship Wrestling. That's who got me. That's the organization, I should say, who got me hooked on Terry Funk and everything that he did. You want to talk about a fellow who really got into his character, whether heel or face? Terry Funk was one of the hardest working men in pro wrestling, period. Whatever you needed him to do, he did it. And now not only is he gone, but Wyndham Rotunda is gone. Well, as said, we have nothing but our prayers and condolences and best wishes for both families. Because to lose a legend and a growing superstar in the same week, that's rough. That is rough. We're going to take a break. I'm going to step away because my wife has an appointment in Indianapolis and I have to get going. Cole will take you the rest of the way. And Cole, I appreciate you. I appreciate Sensei Drew. I appreciate Wize El Jefe, especially my wife Jody, because I got to get my head on straight, simply put. So Cole will be back after the break, and I will be back with y'all on Monday. We'll be back.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
CSTV will air the Big Three, and I'll call the doggone games. Ice Cube, bring your show out west, and we'll handle it. I'm making a public plea right now. You want some fair coverage? CSTV will air your games, all of them, and I'll call as many as I can. We'll do a simulcast, television and radio. It's an area I know best. Television and radio. And yeah, I'm putting it all the way out there. So you know what, Ice Cube? I'll make this plea right now. Me, a small-time YouTuber, a small-time broadcaster, according to a lot of people, which I don't listen to. Put your games on CSTV. Put your games on CSTV. Give us a little funding, and we'll do the rest.
Where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is the Brian Snow Show.
Your afternoons just got better with the Brian Snow Show. Weekdays, 4 p.m. Eastern. Come on aboard and enjoy the ride, folks.
This planet has been great to me. It's given me gifts that I can't even explain. It's given me adventures and memories I'll never forget. And Battleborn, I think, has given me the opportunity to go beyond and give something back. How can I be a better custodian to this planet and the place I live? That's where I am with Battleborn. Let's make the planet a better place.
Now, I'm known as the guy who can fix just about anything, but the technology in most appliances requires very special training to fix. And that's why my family has Choice Home Warranty.
Choice Home Warranty covers over 25 major home systems and appliances. That's your AC, heating, plumbing, kitchen and laundry appliances, and so much more.
Call Choice Home Warranty now before something breaks down.
Get protection for your heating, AC, plumbing, kitchen and laundry appliances, and more.
Call 800-973-6121.
Cause we take this job so serious.
What in the all types of blue hell?
Yes, it's Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. Back with you the rest of the way. I am Cole Johnson of Cole Sports with a Z, along with Divorce, Revelations, Mentality, and other shows too. In fact, I'll be doing another show very soon. But that will be on the horizon, and that will be announced at a later date. All right, so it looks like we're going to have to do some audibles, but we're not going to do that right now. We're going to touch on the NBPA. Now, when I say those words, NBPA, of course, that's the labor union of the players of the National Basketball Association. And they feel as though they need to, how can I put this, rush to the aid of one James Harden, because last week he happened to say that, how can I put this, how can I put how he said it? He happened to have said something to the effect of, quote, Daryl Morey is a liar, and I will never be part of an organization he's a part of. Let me say it again. Daryl Morey is a liar, and I will never be a part of an organization that he is a part of. Close quote. So, of course, Mr. Harden got fined $100,000 by the NBA, basically for talking ill to an NBA exec. And earlier this week, the league announced that they made the decision to fine Harden because of it. And here we are now. And the Players Association is like, we're going to file a grievance because we don't think Mr. Harden violated any rules. I mean, let's put it this way. And they did put it this way in a statement that they released earlier this week. Quote, we respectfully disagree with the league's decision to discipline James Harden for recent comments he made, which we believe do not violate the rule against public trade demands. We intend to file a grievance and have the matter heard by our arbitrator. Close quote. NBPA, yeah, you need one of these. This man had the audacity to call out an NBA exec, the one that has actually been the reason why we are turned away and are repulsed by the beard. Because he said that he didn't want to work with Morey any longer and called him a liar. Let me see. What is that called? That word is called, slander. This wasn't a trade demand that he was making. He was performing slander to an official. No, not referee. I'm talking about an executive. Executive to the NBA governors, owners. That is not a trade demand. What is a trade demand would be, okay, I want out. But you see, the thing is, Mr. Harden knows how to do this because he has been well versed in finding a way to get out of trades. I mean, since 2020. I mean, he did it in Houston in December 2020. He did it in Brooklyn in February 2022. He's having a harder time doing it here because, and the thing is, this is why I laugh at youngins today. He's having a hard time doing it here because Mr. Morey wants to find the right trade partner or trade partners. You see, youngins don't study history. He should have seen by how he treated Ben Simmons when he was a part of that trade as to how Morey gets down in trades. He's not going to let you go for nothing. He's not going to let you go to where you want to go and get zilch in return. No. He wants to have quality in return. So he's going to bide his time. He's going to be patient. He's going to wait. almost sound like Stephen A. Smith. Just be patient. Just wait. Just wait. Just wait. They will not let you down. What can go wrong will go. No, I'm not talking about the Cowboys. No. He's being patient. He's waiting. He wants the right deal. And that is what an exec should want. In fact, that's what an exec should desire. They should want to have the right deal come across their table at the right time. And let's be honest, NBPA. Harden is what, 33? Harden is now in a situation where he was the point guard for the current reigning defending MVP in Joel Embiid. So why doesn't he want to work with the current reigning and defending MVP? I find that to be very difficult in understanding that. Oh, well. It's not meant for me to understand. What is meant for you all to understand, NBPA, is I get it. You're trying to fight the power. Well, there's no power to fight. This is a personal grievance between a guy who had a petulant outburst in public against a president of basketball operations of a team that he wants to get out of. And he's not understanding that Morey is going to do his darndest, do his best, and be as patient as he possibly can be to get the deal that he seeks, that he wants, that he desires, and not a moment sooner. And you know what? Bravo and good for him. I'm glad that he's taken that tact. Now, Mr. Harden, I'm sorry that you, amongst other things, like come up smaller than mini-me in
Game 7.
Actually, no. Come up smaller than mini-me and multiple.
Game 7.
That you cannot embrace the fact that you are no longer the number one option on a team. That now you have to actually embrace being the number two option, but you don't want to do that because you think that you can win with your boring ISO play. And when you were in your prime, Harden, you failed miserably. Yes, I mean miserably. All I can think of is Game 6 and
Game 7.
5 years ago, that beard choked. And then 4 years ago, not even in a
Game 7.
That beard choked again. And that was in your prime. Now you are a shell of your former self, but you still think that you are Giannis Antetokounmpo, Joel Embiid, Nikola Jokic. Come on, Kawhi. And I get it. The reason why you want to be on the Clippers is because the guy that you just saw in Kawhi Leonard, he normally spends 4, 5, 6 months at a time on the bench. So you understand that, okay, so he's bench Britain most of the time. Playoff P, Paul George, he's sometimes bench written too. So you get a chance to be the number one guy. There's your former teammate on 2 teams, Russell Westbrook, who probably will fight you to share that load. But you feel that this is an opportunity for you to be the number one guy on another team. And how can I say this in the right way? You actually believe that you still are the number one option on a franchise, that you can that a team can hoist the Larry O'Brien trophy, and you would be the one to win Finals MVP because you are the number one option on a team.
Why the you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my.
Beard.
Stop the cap.
NBPA.
Stop the cap.
And all of you who root for this idiot.
Stop the cap.
Because he's getting what he deserves. He was put out there, nobody bit, and now he is upset that his value has sunk faster than a pair of 60-year-old breasts. That's what he gets. And NBPA, take that grievance away, because the dude is speaking out of his feelings. He's Drake. He's Drake right now. He's Drake. Daryl, do you love me? Is you riding? That's what he's doing. That is what James Harden is doing. So get off Drake's tip. Get off the Beard's tip. And let those two work out the situation that they need to work out. It's that simple. But, nah. NBPA, with this grievance, please.
Stop the cap.
To the Fanatics Feedback Zone before we take our next break. Cole says, "Hey, Pizzo90, how you doing, brother? Hope everything's good with you." Ryan McCarthy of No Credentials Required fame. He says, "Good morning, Snow Crew. This generation of NBA stars thinks their GMs are J.G. Wentworth because they need cash now. That's not how the business works. That's not how any business works." Sam Shady, Shady Sports Network, he says, "Good morning, sir." And he's agreeing with things in the chat. And Ryan also says, "Look, also, does anyone find it odd that Harden said those comments in China where they viscerally hate Daryl Morey for his comments about Hong Kong a few years back?" No, I don't find it odd. But I'm with you, Ryan. I don't either find that odd. Oh, Dirty Dom. How you doing? It's good to see you. I hope everything's good with you. And do me a favor. Make an honest woman out of mommy. Now, when we return, we're gonna go off the board a bit. We're gonna take it off the rails, and I gotta bring somebody special in to do the deal. Mentality will be on Snowman in the morning right after this.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
What do you get when you watch or listen to the Life Happens podcast? Well, I'll let them tell you.
Kim and I are both ministers of the gospel, and what Life Happens podcast is a beautiful balance by simply taking our spirituality with real life and merging it together to create a beautiful balance. And that's what we do.
BS3 Network proudly presents Life Happens podcast, where Christianity and life intersect. Live every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central.
Here's Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
'Cause we take this job so serious.
Man, I went home that day and talked to my wife, Vicky. And Vicky was like, "What's wrong with you? You pissed off?" "Yeah, I got this partner I'm working with back in the radio station. Man. The Negro be lying." What in the all types of blue hell?
Yes, it's Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson.
The incomparable Chris Bass. He will join us later in hour number 2, where he says he has a special announcement for us all, and I think he hasn't really announced that announcement anywhere else. It is so we're so honored that Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson will be the first place where he will make that announcement. Oh, and speaking of announcements, I think the person I'm about to bring on said this a lot over the past week and past weekend.
The following is a public service announcement from Wize El Jefe,
Boston.
This has been a public service announcement from Wize El Jefe.
So with that being said, here we go. And now batting, the man who is leading the charge to save fire, Aaron Boone, number 420, Wize El Jefe, number 420.
Yes, I am leading the charge in the Fire Aaron Boone campaign. I have no problem admitting it. It's fine. I knew my team sucked. Like I get it confused. Like, yes, I am a fan, but I'm not a fanatic. Like, I'm not gonna live and die with my like. If they lose, my life still goes on. Even when they win, I'm happy.
Mm-hmm.
No, I know, brother. I know you know.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a game. It's a game. Hey, listen. You think you would have thought like Boston sweeping us would have like put me over the edge, but it hasn't. I've maintained my cool. Like I know they suck. We suck. One of my coworker of mine who's a Red Sox fan, and he called it. He said, "Yeah, y'all gonna finish last." He says, "We're gonna finish." He said, "We'll probably finish. We're probably like the fourth." He said, "Boston's probably the 4th best team in the division." He wasn't off.
No, he
called it. Listen, my team just sucks. I can't help it. I'm about to add Cashman's name to that list.
I've been hearing there's a few people who want to add Brian Cashman's name to the fire.
Yeah, I would love to see the captain back. If the captain comes back as GM and bring along, I don't know, maybe hire Mattingly or even Posada. I even take Posada as the manager.
Jorge Posada. That wouldn't be a bad former Yankee to manage a team. Yeah,
listen, bring back the old team. Bring that energy back and let's find something, because whatever
the
they're
late
doing,
90s, early 2000s team.
Yeah, it's not working right now, man.
Yeah, it's not. It's unfortunate, and I'm thinking, I could joke all day with you because I'm just joking, but all joking aside, I've been feeling that energy about the Yankees probably since May. That it's like, this just ain't it. I mean, Yankees fans like you who are knowledgeable and real about your team, you're like, no, this isn't the team.
Bro, we have no left-handed bats.
A long while up for you all.
we have no left-handed bats. It's a right-handed heavy lineup. You're not going to win with that.
No,
if you can't break up these righties, you're not going to win with that. And then you have a short right field porch. Why wouldn't you want a sweet singing, sweet? I love Anthony Rizzo. He was a great player in Chicago, but
he really hasn't done much as a Yankee.
It's time to start. Listen, it's time. Like, I'm happy with the production I'm even getting from Anthony Volpe. He's showing that he belongs in the big leagues. He's just gonna get better. We have a bright future with him. Just start bringing up these young players and let them start playing. See what they got.
Yeah.
If you look at the Braves has their nucleus is to last for the next 10 years. They built an organization. They built the team from within. Added a couple of key components, but they mostly built was from within. And the other teams you're seeing now, the Astros, they build a core nucleus from their minor league system, and then they brought in key free trades for Verlander, the trade for Cole. Then you just add these pieces of established veterans. So the blueprint is there.
And the scary part is that's what the Orioles are starting to do now.
And the Orioles are a prime example. You add a veteran like Aaron Hicks, who has won in New York.
Yep.
Bring that attitude. You got a veteran presence. You bring another couple of key veterans in, and look what the Orioles are doing.
They built their core. Now they're trying to find the right free agent pieces to match with the core. And for the Yankees to be in that division with such a sound core with the Orioles, the work is going to be even tougher for them.
We haven't even touched the Blue Jays. They're still young. You got Junior, you got Vlad Jr., you got
Vlad Jr.,
Bichette, you got Springer out there. You got some players, and it's not like the Blue Jays are trash. They're pretty good.
No, they're good. Yeah, they've just been hit with injuries. Otherwise, I think they probably would be almost up there with the Braves and the Orioles battling for first place in the AL East.
And the Rays have been scuffling.
Yeah.
That's why the Orioles have been able to do what they're doing right now.
Yeah. Yeah, so I agree. I think an infusion of not just new blood, but of new mindset, I think definitely needs to happen in the Bronx. And it's unfortunate. It looks like it's slow and moving.
Bro, if it wasn't for the
that
fact,
doesn't sound like the Yankees.
bro, the other night, if it wasn't for the fact that Aaron Judge hit 3 home runs, right?
Right.
We only scored 1 run on a DJ LeMahieu home run, so it would have been 1-1 tie. Like, what are you guys doing? I don't understand. Like, this lineup, yes, it's horrible. Like, you got McKinley playing, you got all these other different players. Now, even though he's hurt now, but all up that line, Stanton is there, yeah. But you need to make some decisions. Like, Donaldson is not the answer. He has to go. I'm sorry, Rizzo has to go. If you're gonna trade Glaber, decide now. Start bringing something like let's let some of these players play, man. I'm ready to just see what these young guys got. And then if they can fail and succeed up here, then we'll see.
Now, this isn't directed to you. This is directed to Garrett Cole. I am sort of happy that his wonderful arm is getting wasted. That dumb idiot.
But again,
he got the bag. He got the bag. So
he got the bag, yes. But he's also been a lifelong Yankee fan. Let's not say Garrett Cole's been a Yankee fan his whole life. So
yeah,
he wanted to play for his team. Like, come on, man, you can't hate on that, man. I know he left your team. I understand he left your team.
And how he left it was cold. I'm like, dude. Yeah, that's what sucked. Just how
it's a business. It's a business.
I get it.
As fans, we might not approve of it.
Yeah,
but as men, we need to be like, nah, he got the bag. My man got paid.
All right, so yeah, I'll do it this way.
Okay.
As a fan of the Astros, it warms my heart to see Garrett Cole's arm.
Yes, I get it. I feel that. I feel you on that.
It warms my heart to see Garrett Cole's arm get wasted on a team that's in last place in the division. Yes, as a fan, as an Astros fan, that's how I feel. Yeah, as the man, as me as the man, or even as the analyst. Oh yeah, Cole did the right thing because the Astros were not going to back up 9 years of $325 million in his face, and the Yankees did, and it's even better that it's the team that he's rooted for all his life.
Yeah, thank you, I appreciate that. But hey.
I had to say that. I'm like, man, Garrett Cole, I'm loving it. You ain't competing for Jack. This is great. This is great. I'm sorry. You do have company in the Fire Aaron Boone section. Ryan, who is of course a lifelong Yankees fan himself, just like Wize, says, "Fire Aaron Boone, yeet that man into the nearest star."
Yeah.
He also said that to add a little more truth to your fire, he says Stanton was an all-star in Miami. He's an all-star in New York, but only if the IL had an all-star team.
Listen, I can't. It's true. Ryan is stating facts. It's not like he's not stating facts. He is stating facts. I cannot disagree with my man Ryan. Like, he is stating facts. We've invested in the wrong players.
Yeah.
We've made deals that just to make a splash. Like, did we really need Stanton?
No, you did not need that because you already
that contract should have stood in Miami.
Yeah,
we did Miami a favor taking that contract.
Because you already had a power right-handed bat. You didn't need another one.
It was stupid. It was really stupid. And besides the Cole signing, Brian Cashman has been straight trash. So you know what? I'm going to start leading the charge. Fire Brian Cashman as well. Now that I think about it, the only real good thing he's done was bring Garrett Cole to the Yankees. Nothing else, like nothing. And I'm sorry, and he signed my man Judge. He signed Aaron Judge.
But sign and re-sign Judge, I would think. Yeah.
Yes. No, that was two good things. Two good things. But besides that, what has he done? Like he brought in Stanton. He brought in Rondon. He hasn't done anything since the 09 championship. Like, wow. This is what we are 2023.
Almost 15 years. Wow.
2023.
Well, it's true. It's been 14 years since they've last won a World Series, and they ain't gonna win it this year. So it will be next year. It will be 15 years. All right.
Like you've had like Brian. I appreciate what you've done in the past, but it's what have you done for me lately?
He's done.
Y'all remember that song? Yeah. What have you done? Like Janet Jackson. What have you? Yeah. Like what have you done for me? Like nothing. You've brought nothing to the table. We've still been fans that the stadium be packed. People still go to the games. Whenever they go on the road, people still come out to see the Yankees. So they making their money.
Yeah. They're still an attraction, no question.
Aaron Judge jerseys, top sellers, you're making your money.
But you're not putting a winning product on the field.
No. Not by Yankee fan standards.
Well, actually, now it's not by any standards, considering that. Well, I guess we could talk about this. So your beloved team has gone on a losing streak, the likes of which we haven't seen in over 40 years.
Well, they stopped it the other night.
I know they stopped it, but I mean,
no, it was horrible, man. It was horrible.
But during this stretch, and I know it had to be difficult because I haven't heard you say anything about this. The fact that in that long stretch, you got swept at home to the Red Sox. Now, how does that feel in going into the future? Do you have hope in terms of, okay, this has to be rock bottom for us and it could stop and it can change?
Rock bottom for me. It's rock bottom for their ass, not me. I'm not the one playing and losing. I'm just a fan. I'm gonna go on with my life. They need to shape up. Like me, I'm happy. I'm like, listen, you guys, you get them next year, guys. I'm on past that, man. Yesterday I did a Giants show. I did a feature on a show, and I was previewing my New York Giants. I'm on to football season, baby. Like y'all dudes, y'all be the season, like I don't care. The season's over. I'm on to the next one.
Oh Lord, he says it's about the NFL.
Bro, yeah, listen, my Giants
it's
looking good.
it's about that Daniel Jones, Darren Waller connection. It's about Dexter Lawrence ruling in the interior defensive defensive space where no one can run on him.
I'm excited. I'm excited. Let's just say I'm excited. People are they're gonna don't worry, man. Listen, I'm gonna be handing out some receipts at the end of the season. That's all I know.
I will also
D Willie, that's you.
Yes,
I'm talking to you, D Willie. I am talking to you, my man.
I'm going to remind him that you said that the Giants will begin the 2023 campaign 1-7.
No, listen. D Willie, yo, you my man and all, but yo, like that's like it's on site if I ever see you, D Willie. It's on site, man. On site. You gonna be disrespectful like that, yo. Like
I loved how you responded to him though. It says, "Man, I'd like to have what you smoking."
My man was, we was on his show, so he was like, I get it, we on his show, but damn, my man, 1-7. Oh, whoa. I was like, all right.
But I was getting it. I was like, okay, so yeah, this comes from a guy who is a Commanders fan, so like so he knows this is a divisional rival. That this guy roots for the divisional rival, so he's gonna needle the divisional rival fan and say that say that they're gonna start the season rough and have an uphill struggle the rest of the year.
Rough. That's rough. That was rough, bro. He couldn't even give it like 2 games. He said 1-7. I'm like, my dude, and I said, whatever you got, like, I want some of that because it's real good. Because I don't understand that, man. I don't understand. And then on top of that, now, right? On top of that, you get rid of Daniel Snyder, right? You get rid of Daniel Snyder, and now you got Days of Our Lives with Eric Bieniemy. Days of Our Lives with Eric Bieniemy now. Oh, he hurts our feelings. The coach, like, y'all be killing me with this nonsense. He hurt my feelings.
If Mentality was a sports show, I probably would have had that as a topic. But I find that hilarious that grown men. I find it hilarious that grown men were saying, no, the boogeyman he's treating us wrong. He's treating us unfairly. Ronnie, save us, Ronnie, save us. I'm like, you grown men.
You can't make this stuff up, bro. You can't make the way. Oh man. Just some of the conversations I'm like, y'all kidding me with this stuff. Like, I don't understand y'all. I don't understand none of that. I really don't.
Oh, you cold. Mentality. With
you
us.
Never know. You never know, Vic. You never know.
Yeah, I'm about to say, Vic, yeah, you never know.
We always working on something.
That's right. Good morning to you, Godfather Dom. Appreciate you being here, stopping with us, and we're gonna touch on this after the break because I think we need to touch further, and I think in a more positive way, the impact of one Wyndham Rotunda, aka Bray Wyatt. But I'm Lemon Warrior here, so when
we on the same, bro. We on the same page. We on the same.
We are.
Like we are. We always on the same. It's just it's an amazing relationship we have, and cheers.
I find it with us. I find it uncanny that I'm like, doggone, what subject do we not really have interest in that's common? I'm like, dang. And it's like I keep introducing more topics, and it's like either one of us could step out the way and say, well, I actually think that way. I wouldn't phrase it the way he would, but I actually think that. And I think we both are finding more and more topics where we're saying that about each other. I'm like, doggone. And who was it?
Because it's just amazing. Like you would where it works. It just works. It's
It
like
does.
it just the show, everything, just our relationship in general. It just works on how it's just crazy how people your relationship is just on, but it's like, damn, this brother's like, I've known this brother all my life. Like, damn, it's one of those relationships. So yeah,
it is. So like, I was like, how is it that?
no, it's one of those lifetime. It's like one of those.
I mean,
it's like one of those friendships that you know. When it starts, it's a relationship that's gonna last a long time because it's just the way, just the way we're able to communicate with each other. Like,
because I'm like,
we're completely honest with. That's what it is. We're completely honest with each other.
Yeah, we are.
Like we've both been vulnerable to, like, seriously vulnerable and honest with each other, and let each other know and express things, even on our own mess ups. Like when we know it was our fault. We've been able to, like, I've been able to go into, like, I did this and this, and it's and that kind of, that's when you know a relationship is pure hearted when we're honest with each other, when we're like, yo, damn, like, brother, you absolutely right, you messed up on that one.
Yeah,
you could have done this, whatever. So when you have that type of relationship, it works, man.
It's beautiful. Yeah, I agree with you. It's beautiful to know that the chemistry that all of you see on screen, it pretty much, that's how it is when the camera is turned off and the red button isn't lit, because that's just how we are. It's great. It's great that in content from segment 1 of, and I mean, we literally met each other on this show.
Doing this show, yeah.
We met each other doing this show. So we didn't have like the green room talk before, like, hey, what topics do you like? What are you comfortable talking about? None of that. I mean, when the button was hit to record and we were live and the live stream was rolling, that was when we met. And
but you know what? I'm good
ever since then.
But I've I've never done structure on my show until now, kind of, and mine's still not really structured. I'm still working on that, and it's gonna improve. But every one of my shows, my guests with questions and all that, it wasn't really structured. It was just me going on and doing a conversation and asking questions. And then I link up with you, and I'm realizing, damn, maybe if I added a little structure and I start learning from you and start on how to really produce a show, it's like, okay. So now it's motivated me to do other things, start more shows. We've had numerous conversations on plans, on what we want to, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, like, we've built a relationship where we're talking about, like, this is what we're trying to build. And like, I'm down. And to have, like, hell yeah, like, we want everybody, we want to bring in McCarthy. We want to bring all the people that we know are serious about what they're doing and help each other grow and build what did I say? I called it what? I called it I forgot what I called it.
Well, I know in other circles you call it a village, but I know that's not what you call
it.
Yeah,
no.
I would probably say syndicate or collective or conglomerate.
I like collective. That's what I would say. I like the collective. I like the collective. That's definitely
good. Because my thought is, and I know when I say this to you, know exactly what I'm talking about. I fancy us to be like De La Soul, Tribe Called Quest, Queen Latifah, Moni Love, Black Sheep, Jungle Brothers. You know, when they had their collective and they called it the Native Tongue, where they were family, but it wasn't as though it was like Wu-Tang, where you had to be under one umbrella at times. They weren't really under one umbrella. They just got together. They had common interests, but they still had their own personal missions that they wanted to execute. And I think that is what we're forming. And I'm seeing more and more of that, where Ryan has his lane and you have your lane, and Playmaker has his lane. Even Dietz, he has his lane, and Drew has his lane, and I have mine. And we drive down our own lanes, but seemingly we're headed to similar destinations, and we at times hop in the other's car to ride a little further down to that destination. And I love that. And you mentioned you formed more structure when you came up with me. In turn, I actually learned I had to loosen up a little more in front of the camera because of you. Because when I was on Stuck in My Mind last year, I was so taken aback, in a good way, taken aback by how smooth you were. I'm like, doggone. I'm like, man, he's prepared. Then I found out he's like, no, I just wing it. I'm like, what? In the world you wing that? That was just too smooth for you to wing. I don't understand that, but okay, all right.
It's never, and like I tell you all the time, I'm like, it's getting me to the point where like I'm working on different projects on, and actually it's funny because I do the projects because I love creating content, but I also do it as a challenge to myself to make myself improve. And I'm always telling you this, like, all right, I want to do this, and this, and then you throw in your input, and then I give you the reason on why I'm doing it, and you're like, okay, I understand now. So it's those conversations that like have helped boost my skills, and then actually, and then you see it in the production. You see it in what I'm doing and what I'm doing with Papi J and Wize, and how I'm starting to structure that a little bit more. And that's your influence. And when you have someone you can learn from like that, to me, it's like, all right, you need to take this right now, this opportunity, and start learning. If you find, and I tell anyone, if you meet someone that is willing to teach you and spend time and energy on teaching you and developing you, take it. Like, all right, thank you. Like, and really truly apply what this person is teaching you. And because that's the only way you're going to get better.
Yeah.
Is building these relationships, and then eventually they even these relationships turn to a point where they become confidants, and you're able to have conversations, and there's when you're going through struggles, and where these are the outlets that you express yourself to. Like, this is where you're able to, like, so you don't go in and have a meltdown while you're doing a show, whatever it is. It's more where this is an outlet, like, this is where I can express myself without losing it and being able to open up. So I appreciate our relationship. I am grateful to you because I've been able to open up and have it help me not reflect on my production or on my shows, because we all go through our struggles and all through our issues. But we have each other to help get through this.
Yeah.
So any other guy, everybody know I got an open line. Anybody cools, reach out to me. These are relationships we build. And
cool.
I want to let all y'all guys, anybody in the chat, know you need somebody to talk to, hit me up. Send me a message. What up, Wize? How you doing? Just wanted to shoot the shit, whatever. I'm open. I love all you guys. I appreciate all you guys. And I tell you guys this all the time. That's why I appreciate the moment that Cole gives me to talk and express to. Sometimes we got to keep it real and be able to communicate with you guys and let y'all know that we appreciate what you guys do for us and how you inspire us to create the content that we do. Because without you guys, it just wouldn't work.
Yeah. I agree. And for those who want to actually talk to Wize, it's worth your while. One of the biggest hearts and one of the soundest people that I've ever met in my life. And I'm not saying this because we're recording. I'd say that anywhere. You can message me, you can DM me. I'll say the exact same thing. And I'll extend the same olive branch. I'll extend the same red carpet. I mean, if you feel the need to talk anything, it could be content, it could be personal. Doesn't matter. Doors open, my ears are open.
Because sometimes it is about content. Sometimes you're like, damn, I'm stuck on a project.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if you got somebody else, you're like, damn, Wize, I got an idea. I'm stuck on this. I'm more than happy that anybody know if they reach out to me for any help on any part. I'm more than willing to help anybody. There's no question. And yesterday, like I did this show, I didn't know the gentleman who sent me the link, but he was connected with Cool. And since Cool's my man, you my man. That's how I approach it. Like, if Cool is telling, like, Cool's my man. If Cool's sending you to me and telling you, yo, send this out to Wize.
Yeah, then this Cool people.
I ain't gonna be like, nah, I don't know you. Nah, man, my man, Cool sent you. All right, let's do this.
Yeah, you verified. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's how it go, man. That's how you build these relationships. Is hey, listen, this is my man here. He good peoples. Once you get this, it's crazy because it's not hood stuff, but it's stuff like you grew up with. Like, this is good people's here. You mess with good people. That's just that's where I come from. That's the school. That's the mentality I come from.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and I guess that will conclude the episode of Mentality Sports. And another key ingredient to our relationship is humor, as you can tell.
I like that. That was good, though. That was good.
Thank you.
Because it was the Bray Wyatt situation and everybody, but like how you said, like, we have to celebrate his life, and appreciate the good, because you know me, you know my story, you know everything I've been through, and when it comes to loss, when my wife passed away, she wanted music played. She didn't want no one sad. She didn't want no one dressing like in all in black. Like, I was in a nice white.
Oh, she didn't want you to dress in black.
No, she wanted to celebrate her life. She wanted music, and she didn't want no sad music. She wanted solid music that she loved. That she wanted that, and like that opened my eyes to, like, yeah, she's no longer here, but she was like, but celebrate me. Like, don't celebrate that I'm no longer here, but celebrate the moments that y'all did have with me. And so to be able to recognize the moments that we've all had with Bray Wyatt, a lot of us with Terry Funk, experiencing Terry Funk as well. Let's celebrate their life. It's a sad moment, but let's make it let's have a celebration.
Yeah.
Not that they're no longer here, but what they've brought to the table and what they've brought to the community.
Yeah. And we'll talk more about that, because that's what we will do on the other side. We'll do a reset and probably begin hour number 2. Of course, you don't see Snowman, but this is my mentality brother, Wize El Jefe, joining me, the other half of Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson, and the other half of Mentality as well, Cole Johnson. We'll be back right after this. This is Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Where did the time go? I don't know how I got here.
You've done the hard part. You quit smoking. Now do the easy part and get scanned for lung cancer. If you smoked, you may still be at risk, but early detection could save your life. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org.
If you talk, they will hear you.
We all want our kids to grow up safe and healthy.
So we show them how. And we tell them with honest conversations that let them know what we expect. Not just one time, but every chance we get. That's especially important when it comes to alcohol and other drugs. Kids not only need to know the dangers and how to avoid them, they need to hear it often from you. And when it comes to pain medications, opioids, they need to know that they should never be taken without a prescription and never shared with friends or family. It's dangerous and illegal. So talk with your kids and guide them through the challenges of growing up safe and healthy. Because when you talk, they hear you. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
So don't let here. You can do it if you try.
He was only 58 years old when he passed away. That outcome could have been different.
Colorado happens to be one of the worst states for radon levels.
It's in our ground and it seeps up.
The more you breathe radon, the more chance you have of DNA being hit and the cell mutated. The EPA estimates 22,000 lung cancer deaths a year caused by radon.
We all make choices. When it comes to alcohol, kids make choices whether to drink or not.
Bye, Dad.
Bye-bye.
Remember, I'm going to Alex's party tonight and sleeping over.
Have fun. Hey, have a seat for a second. Remind me about that party again?
Alex is just...
And adults make choices whether to talk about it. That's true of parents and every other trusted adult in a kid's life. Kids want to know our expectations when it comes to alcohol and other drugs. They want guidance and honest answers to their questions. And it makes a difference when the message is consistent and part of everyday conversations. So talk with your kids and help lead them on a positive path. Because when you talk, they hear you. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Time for hour 2 of this spectacular. Ryan McCoffey now joins us this morning.
That's what you need to do to beat Josh Allen. You need to make him uncomfortable.
Hour 2, time for some Spivey notes. And here's Jay.
Well, I know he's only in his 3rd year, but they're just wasting Justin Herbert.
Hour 2,
the hardest working content creator I know, the playmaker.
Hey, LeBron James, the greatest scorer of all time. Hey.
Hour 2, the one, the only Christopher Dietz.
They rewarded Ohio State for not playing, and they punished USC for playing.
Hour 2, Sam Shady.
Oh, man. It's been a roller coaster ride if you were a Philadelphia Stars fan.
Hour 2, that's Big Ben, the man in charge of the BS3 network.
And if I see Kurt 2 Chainz Cousins out.
Hour 2, Chris Bay's joining us.
Oh my God! Oh, this game! Oh, way to go, Sammy!
Hour 2, Wize El Jefe.
Oh man, I thought I missed it. What in the all types of blue hell?
Time for hour 2 of this spectacular, and it starts right now.
Welcome back to hour number 2 of Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. I am Cole Johnson. That is not Brian Snow, aka Snowman. That is my brother Wize El Jefe, or your boy Wize.
Yes.
And yeah, before we do get onto the celebration of Bray Wyatt, I do have to say that I have come to really enjoy more and the progression of growth with Papi J and Wize El Jefe. I mean, it's great that y'all, y'all, of course, have chemistry, the likes of which not even we have that type of chemistry. And I know that. Although our chemistry is the bomb. I mean, you've known each other basically all your lives. So,
yeah, he's known me since I was born. So, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, that would be, that chemistry should be a wee bit closer. But in terms of a show, I'm loving the fact that you all are finding your path and your road to and both of you doing this. I'm seeing sort of walking that fine line between information and entertainment. And
yes,
And I'm loving that neither one of you step on each other's toes. Both of you give each other flowers, and I'm like, doggone, this is becoming a really good show. And it became exactly what I thought it was going to become when both of you would actually give each other the room to be yourselves, which I knew that was going to happen. It was just a matter of how you're going to do it on that platform.
Yeah, and that's with anything. Like we've always been, like I said, that's my nephew, but he's more like my brother. So
yeah,
it's weird. It works because I always compare us to the Odd Couple. Me and him are definitely the Odd Couple. He's Felix Unger. I'm Oscar Madison. Hands down. I will admit that, hands down. And so it just, the dynamic works because we can, just like our relationship, it's built on being able to tell each other, like, yo, you messing up. This is what I see you doing, and you can't take offense. You can't take offense to it because they're coming from a place where they love you and they want to see the best for you. So when you have that kind of relationship where you can just purely be honest with each other and be like, you can call each other out without one getting in their feelings,
right?
And that's some of the problem now, where people get into their feelings and can't accept criticism, or can't accept that maybe your point of view isn't always correct. It's your point of view, and I respect that, but maybe to you it might be that you're correct, but I might see it a different way.
Yeah. And when I look at the two of you, I'm reminded of, you remind me of a cousin I have, and we have that similar type of bond where, we're first cousins, yes, but we're more like brothers. And whenever we get together, no matter what it is, and our common bond is music. Whenever we get together, and it could be whatever family function. Whenever we get together, bam, it's like we have not lost time or track of each other, and it's like we picked up where we last left off of the previous conversation.
Yeah,
and that's the vibe I see you two have, and it's just beautiful to watch. And it's beautiful to watch. I see it actually come together with content. Like, wow, this is great. This is great. I know this is like an uncle nephew type of bond in familial terms.
Yeah.
But yeah, with my eyes, it's two brothers, and I sort of understood that from jump. But it's great to see it, and kudos to both of you for all you do, because you both are awesome gentlemen, man, and you both. I hate to say to a lesser degree, but I only say it from the standpoint of I talked to you a whole lot more than I've talked to Papi. But both of you have influenced me greatly, and I appreciate the both of you being in my life. So, man, thank you.
Thank you. You received the book, right?
Yeah. I forgot. Yes, I got the book.
Okay.
And man, the brother's deep. That's all I have to say. The brother's deep. I mean, how his mind works, and I've always loved it. I got a chance to understand how his mind worked when I interviewed him for Revelations.
Yeah.
And I love how he thinks when it comes to life, and I love the fact that you see this exterior that's stern and that's tough, but when it comes to people he cares about, I mean, he is so warm, and I love that about him. And you can go back and tell Papi this. I love that about him. That I'm like this guy. If he loves you, you see the warmth exude from him.
Oh no, people have been like, yo, why are you always angry? And I'm like, he's not angry. He's not. Yo, y'all don't realize that he's not angry.
No, he's not.
He comes off with that, but I'm like, I don't. To me, he's not angry because I know him and I know who he is. But everybody, when we first started creating content, when we first doing his show, like, yo, your man is cool, but he always angry. I'm like, nah, he's not angry. I say, look at that as passion. He's very passionate.
He's extremely passionate, but angry, no.
Oh, oh no.
No. I've noticed.
It just comes out as it just comes out as he's angry, but
Yeah.
He's not.
No. And I love it. I was like, man, this is a warm, thoughtful guy. I'm like, wow, okay. There's a lot to him. And it's great to understand that. And it's wonderful to be respected by him like that too. So
Yeah, no, he loves you. He loves you. He loves you. Like, yo, he the other day he out of nowhere he sent me a clip out of the blue, bro. Out of the blue. He sent me, says, yo, mentality. Yo, you ain't cold, man. You ain't cold. That's all I gotta say. that was all the audio, yo. And it was a message out of the blue, like what? Like, and I understood what he was saying though. I knew what he was saying. I'm like,
I know, yeah. And
he
I
loves mentality.
understand what he's saying too. Yeah. And with you saying to me, I understand what he's saying too. Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. I'm glad that what we're doing hits him deep. Because to me, my goal mentality, I hope, is that it touches guys like him, where it's like, okay, I feel seen. This is me. Those two are representing who I am. I want those. I love those reactions from guys.
And we get that a lot. We get that a lot. We do get it from like a lot of people we know that they'll be just hit message. They'll put both of us in the chat. Yo, the episode. I'm like, you put your foot in it. Like, yo, we just
being us.
we just do us, man. That's the great thing about our chemistry is just I don't know how many times we got to say this, but he just tosses it up there, and oh really? That's what I love. Let's do this.
I mean, it is straight up a content version of I'm Magic, and I'm treating Wize like he's James Worthy. It's just
yeah.
I'm throwing no look passes and alley oops all day.
all day. Yep.
But yeah, I had to pass those flowers to both you and Papi J, because yeah, that brother there, man. And I told you this before you started, Papi J and Wize El Jefe. That brother there, I think he has the ability to be an absolute content creation stud. I really believe that.
Y'all think I go, oh man, he goes off. He goes off.
Yes, he does. And
this is his latest thing. I'm not gonna promote. I'm not gonna say what is his latest thing, but just know that black people, he's not really happy. He knows y'all secret, man. He knows y'all secret.
And that's another thing. He's not stereotypical of, okay, so he's this.
No, listen. I want you to know he's pro man, but this is what he says. He came up to this. He said to me the other day, I'm a feminist. I said, man, how can you be a feminist if you pro man? He said, that doesn't mean I'm not pro man. He said, but I'm a feminist too.
He's right.
I'm like, man.
He's right. I am too.
Get out of here with that.
I'll admit that. I am too.
But then he goes, black people, he says, you know what the problem with us black people are? He says, we hate black people. I said, but ain't you pro-black? He says, I am. But I state the facts. I'm like, oh my God. He's like, you black people, we our biggest problem. We hate each other, and that's the issue. And he ain't lying.
Take this back to Papi J. You can say Cole Johnson said this, and say he is my boy for life for saying the truth right there, because I do believe black people hate black people. I believe that 100%.
And if you check out the latest episode coming out today of Papi J.
Drop the mic on that,
and you will see what I mean.
My boy, the mic on that.
My boy goes off. Yeah, listen, I let him. I do for him what you do for me on mentality. Like
I've noticed that. I was like, okay, so he's being me on Papi J and Wize. He's just throwing lobs to Papi. I'm like, oh, okay. Oh man.
But nah, man, we're blessed to be able to do this, man. I'm blessed to be able to do this, and And listen, celebrating Bray Wyatt, this is how you
Yeah.
celebrate him: is having laughs, is going on. Yes, he's no longer here, but
Which is
to be sad and be down. Nah, we here to we're gonna laugh and celebrate. We're still gonna be ourselves because we still have to continue to live and move on.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean we celebrate him any less because we're not being sad. No, we're being joyful for the life he's for the life he did live, and that's it, man. Listen.
Yeah. And for me, when I think of Bray, the lesson that I get from him is you can be in an industry and not operate the same way as everybody else does. I mean, you don't have to do the same thing as other people. You can be bold enough to come at it uniquely and still make an impact. In fact, you probably make a bigger impact because there's no one else is doing it like you.
Bro, listen, he came out as Husky Harris with the Nexus, right? And we didn't, a lot of like us wrestling fans kind of knew he was Mike Rotunda's son, and we was wondering why he didn't go by because he wanted to build his own name.
Yeah,
And
I think we didn't catch that probably until after the Husky Harris experiment happened.
Yeah. And so then he created the Bray Wyatt character, adding a little bit of that De Niro Cape Fear aspect of it. And then just the whole, it was one of those characters that you're like, wow.
Yeah.
It's one of those characters that's going to go down in wrestling history that's unique. It's like somebody said earlier, he was the Undertaker of our generation. Like, I understand what they mean by that. But he had that character that, yes, it was that supernatural element to it, but he played that well. So even when he switched to the Fiend, and then the Firefly Funhouse, he did what the Undertaker did with the character, how he evolved them multiple times.
Yeah, never stayed with that character. He
knew like it was time. Like it's time for me to evolve the characters. Go to, and that's what the great ones do. Like when you see a character is going stale and such, you flip it and you add another element to it and you do something different. And that was what he was great at. Is I'm feeling kind of stale and stagnant with this role, but it's crazy because that's how life is, though.
Yeah,
like you can't stay in the same lane forever. Eventually, you have to grow and adapt and so I listen. I appreciate what he did for wrestling. He was a fantastic wrestler as far as everything, the mic, in ring, charisma, everything.
Yeah.
He and the crazy thing was nobody thought this was gonna be him. Like when he came to Husky Harris, like nobody really cared about that character. Nobody wasn't talking about him. And he went back and he could have easily quit, but no, he went, tinkered, evolved, they created this character and he ran with it. That's a sign of someone who got it.
Yeah. Now you know what's funny. You we think of characters in wrestling. Okay, so this guy is easy to love. This guy is easy to dislike. And then you have characters where it's like, well, it just depends on the day and depends on the story he or she is telling, to where if I like or dislike this character. But this is more of a tweener, which unfortunately to me, I think a lot of wrestling is now creating characters that are tweeners. But in Bray Wyatt's case, he probably would be considered a tweener, but he wasn't a tweener from the standpoint of, depending on the story you're telling, he transcended that label because of the stories that he was telling with the character that he had. And that was even before you would introduce someone else to tell a story with and have a program with. And I always found that the most amazing thing about him. It's like, wow, you could you don't even have to deal with booing him or cheering him. You're enthralled. Your imagination is captured. You just want to see what he's going to say or do next.
Bro, and this is when you know you're great, because it's no matter, regardless if you're heel or baby face, and the fans still love you.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the signs of greatness. Those are the ones that can play it like whenever they're heels, they still loved, and when they're baby faces, they're
still loved.
It didn't matter with him.
It didn't matter with him. And for a minute there, I was thinking, okay, so it looks like WWE's trying to push him heel, but I'm not getting heel vibes from him. I'm basically getting FU vibes from even wanting to be placed as a heel or a face with him. That was the vibe I got. It was like, I'm not a heel or face. I'm Bray. I'm me. So however you're going to accept me, you're going to accept me. But here I am. And I loved that he was like, I'm bigger than that type of label that you place on me. I'm bigger than a wrestling character. And I loved it when he got a chance to be Bray or the Fiend, or in his latest iteration, dance in between both. And I love the fact that he got a chance to be the Cape Fear character. I love that he got a chance to be the normal guy. And I did like the fact that he was a Fiend. But it was just great to see him not just keep us guessing. And not just keep us guessing from character to character, but keep us guessing week to week. Like, wow, he's saying this, and I'm emotionally tied to him, but wow, I'm seeing something that's really eerie. I was like, wow, that's just brilliant. The character was just brilliant. Victor says, look, Bray, he proved that you didn't have to do a 450 splash and moonsaults to gain a response. He could do a crab walk, which I always loved when he did, and it would get more of a reaction than doing a 450. Yeah. From Twitch, sorry manager, he says, look, he was Husky Harris, he was the Eater of Worlds, he was the Family, he was the Patriarch, he was the Fiend, he was Bray Wyatt, he is Wyndham Rotunda, and I'm going to miss him so much. He was the guy who made me love wrestling, and he is that type of character. Like you actually said a few minutes ago, he is that type of character where he is like the Undertaker of our generation, where a lot of people said what you just said, about the Undertaker, because people said I was drawn into wrestling because of the stories that Undertaker told. And now we're gonna hear people who are gonna say I was drawn into wrestling by the stories that Bray Wyatt told. I can understand that. I can totally understand that. Because I would have to say, and probably for many people, he was the one that probably made us love wrestling again because of the stories he told. Yeah. Well, Bray, we love you, bro. And man, thank you for the endless amounts of entertainment you gave us. And thank you for the life lessons you taught us, that we should never settle and that we should always change things up whenever things get stale, and never, ever be content with who we are, because we can always be better than the day before.
Definitely.
Bray Wyatt, wonderful wrestler, but more importantly, wonderful husband and father. He was dead at the age of 36, and your legacy will live on longer than 36 years, my friend. And from celebrating a life to celebrating life in general, we have now come to the bottom of the second hour, and it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It's Friday. And you know what we do every Friday? At the bottom of hour number 2, here it is, and here he is.
And now, the transporter to Hades, the reformer of hooker whores, and the bronze god, the one, the only, the legendary Chris Bay.
And here is the man who was in charge of Baseline, the legendary broadcaster himself, Chris Bass. How you doing, sir?
And I'm doing well. I cannot call it. You guys had a good hand. Good morning, of course. Shout out to the Rain Man, to, of course, the Mad Scientist, to Wize All, and to all the boys and girls in the comment section. A hearty boom shakalaka to you.
It is good to have this time come again. So it is, we're at the end of August, because the next time we do this, it'll be September. What is on your mind, sir?
Well, first of all, it's on my mind. Congratulations to ESPN's Hot Sauce Freddie Coleman, and of course to Harry Douglas as the new afternoon team on ESPN Radio doing 3 to 7 p.m. Eastern on their beloved station. I think it's a good move. I like both personalities. Someone like myself who had the honor of interviewing Freddie Coleman a while back. When you interview people in our industry, once again, podcasting, broadcasting, and you see the light within them, and of course, it's different from what they do. Obviously, they're showcasing their talents, whether it's on radio or television or both or podcasting. But we get a chance to do like a one-on-one and in-depth interview. You say, okay, I see where that knowledge comes from. I see where the hard work is put into it. So, hot sauce Freddie Coleman is that brother, man. I wish him the very best. I like Harry Douglas too, and you talked to me before about the shakeups over there at ESPN over there. These things happen, as we know, just in business and in corporate and in general. But change is inevitable, whether you like it or not, and it could be good, bad, or indifferent. And so, the casualties of war that happens when you do these type of shakeups, I'm always looking forward to the new horizons of people who put in hard work, like a Freddie Coleman, like a Doris Burke, and people like that who deserve more time and more shine. So, again, shout out to Freddie Coleman and Harry Douglas on their new endeavor.
Look, I haven't had a chance to meet Freddie Coleman, but from all I've heard, and I've heard from many different people, they have said exactly the same thing as you. And I was like, yeah, he's one of those guys that his spirit is so giving, and his passion is so palpable that it's like you want more of it, and he's willing to actually give you that time, which that's something you don't really get personalities of his stature to even give you, because they think, well, okay, if they are lower than you, they seem to say, all right, you're only worth maybe 5-10 minutes. Go. And he doesn't have that energy, and that's a great thing to see, because it makes me think, okay, I aspire to be that. I aspire to be as open and as giving as a Freddie Coleman is, to where I don't think of myself higher than certain things or certain people, that I'm humble enough to say, look, I was where you were. I believe you can ascend to this if you put in the work that I did, and here's to help boost you and get there. I love those types of people, and you strike me as that, sir. You always have struck me as that, where you can think, well, I've done radio for decades. I don't necessarily have to, jump on this platform. But no, your heart is warm enough to where it's like, all right, I see the hard work in these individuals. I see that they're putting in the time, and I love what they do, and I love what they do, and I love who they are. Okay, well, let me give them a rub. And hopefully they have the mentality that they will give me the rub in return. And I think we have done that. And because of that, it makes people like me respect you even more.
Well, as I always say, I love the love, and so thank you for saying that. And I feel it not only in the 1/4 part of my Native American heart, but my 100% of my heart altogether. So thank you tremendously. And it humbles me because, and I was telling my wife this at one point, when she was around. I said, I don't see myself as nobody special, and to a degree, I still don't, because again, I know the path I have been on, and it has never been to the point of sunshine and rainbows. It was a lot of fights.
Of course.
A lot of fights with management, and it gets to a point where reputation precedes you, to the point where nobody wants to hire you. I don't see that. I don't believe in revisionist history. If I had to go back and fight again, I'd probably do the exact same thing I did. And only because of the fact that nobody will stick up for you but you. When you're in a boardroom or in an office, and certain managerial style just doesn't work well with you, or people promise you things and it never comes through in their promises. And I'm going to confront you on it. Hey, remember a year ago you said I was going to be on A, B, and C? What happened? And usually they're cowards, and usually want to duck and run or continue to lie. As a friend of mine here in Chicago, when she watches the eyewitness news, she calls it the lie witness news. And some people just like to lie all the time. It's just what they do. It's in their nature, it's in their DNA, and that's just who they are. So even in the introduction, when you give every Friday, and I put on my own show about the legendary Chris Bass, I still look over both shoulders to me, because I never thought that word would be associated with me at all. I think that once you, when you become Obi-Wan Kenobi and you realize what your self-worth means to others, and I don't mind helping people because somebody helped me. It's just that simple. It's the classic each one teach one. If anybody, you guys reach out to me, I'm going to reach out back. I don't deny. I take that back. I do deny certain people, because certain people I hear are really nuts. Not the people on this panel, obviously, but certain people are one step away from a monogram straitjacket, and they know who they are. Probably they don't know who they are because they're crazy as hell. Anyway, I digress. When it comes down to helping people, it depends on the person, him or herself. You have to be able to want to help people. It should not be something you do kicking and screaming. It should be just as natural as breathing. You just do it, the old Nike slogan. And if you want to, fine. You don't want to, fine. And so when I hear words like that, it continues to humble me, continues to ground me, because of the fact that everybody has an ego. We couldn't do what we do right now had not been for egos, but it goes back to having your ego in check. And who you are, what you bring to the table, your background and things of that nature, how you comport oneself, and that goes to the individuals themselves. So that's how I believe it should be. Not everybody subscribes to that, but that's how I believe it should be.
Well, I try to live life this way, where the night after the American Music Awards, I think this was late January 1985, they all recorded "We Are the World," and of course it had every big name known to man. Now almost all of them are legends. Actually, all the names that recorded that song, and of course Quincy Jones was the one producing it. And so every artist that walked into the studio had to look at a sign above the door which said, "Check your ego at the door." And I always try to live in my brain thinking that I'm walking through that door into the studio whenever I deal with anybody. And I'm like, all right, let me check my ego at the door. Because I don't want to leave with my ego. I want to leave with my humanity. Now, the lessons I have learned from people like Wize and you, and even Brian and others, is that once I do leave with my humanity, that's cool and all, but I could still gain to learn something so that I can improve upon what I'm doing. And when I see someone like you who opens the door willingly and says, "Look, whatever it is, man, the door's open," I'm happy to see that, because I now know, okay, this is what I have to be when it's my turn, and it's starting to be my turn now, because I'm starting to actually get people who are asking me things, who want advice from me. How I want the production of my show to be better. How can I go about and doing that? And I'm receiving it right and left without even soliciting it. They come to me, So I'm humbled. I mean, it's like the more they come, the more humbled I become, because I'm thinking to myself, I mean, I'm just a content creator. I don't see myself as a mentor, but I hear it. I hear it, and now I see it. So I totally understand that feeling, man. And when it is extremely, extremely humbling.
Oh, it always is. I've always been a proponent of people having mentors in their lives. I think that it's the best thing going if you're able to find someone. If you're blessed with more than one mentor, like myself, I had 2 mentors in radio, and they had the guideline, they had the playbook. What I was trying to achieve, and I was there. And if ironically, if I can invoke their names real quick, they're not with us anymore. The first guy is named Ty Wansley, and the second gentleman is named Jay Marvin, and I was their producers here in Chicago on WLS AM radio. And when I was their producers, I was also have become their friends. We all became friends, and so when I went from one style with Ty was calm, cool, collective, and then working with Jay, who was combative but caring. And so these 2 different styles of personalities, but they had the blueprint of what made them work, what made them tick, what made them great. And I would sit there on the other side of the glass taking down notes of what they were doing. So that way, by the time I was ready to hit the microphone to become a host myself, I had an idea. I had a thought process of what I wanted to become. When you look at your competition, quote unquote, around you, one of the questions I asked myself was, what makes myself different from other people? And the question was simple. I'm different from somebody else. So that's what you build upon. Don't be like somebody else. Be yourself. Be different. Strive on the fact that you're different. Strive on the fact that certain things may enter your mind and you want to share with the audience, because that stands you out. Because that way, if you're able to gleam onto an audience, when it starts from 1 and 2 and start to build up, as you said before about doing content, once they like what they hear and see, they're not going to go anywhere. They're not, because they can't get it anywhere else. Please be original. When I was teaching talk radio in college and at Illinois Media School at one point, I told my students, do not, and I repeat, do not look at somebody and say, that's the way. It's a way, but not the way. And then you just go from there. So once again, you use somebody as a blueprint. Once again, see what makes them great. And then eventually, because of their voice and studying them, you can find your own voice in time.
Oh no, I tune into Baseline because I study you and I look at your manners and I see what you do and how you control your show. And that's me wanting to learn from one of the greats, like me wanting to learn from somebody who's done it before and how you do a show, because that's how you're gonna improve. I'm not. I study you in a way where, like, okay, I like that about bass. I like this, but I'm still gonna be me. I understand where you come from, because yes, I study you. I study Cole. I study Brian, because you guys been doing this for years.
Don't study Brian. Don't do that.
Oh no.
No, God, no. I gotta stop you right there. I love you more, but if you study Brian, if you study this dude, be prepared to be delivered by the Mothership Connection. He's not from here. He's not. If you're into Mars and different types of Mother Hubbard, different planets, go right ahead. Study astrology and the stars and the moons and stuff like that, because that's where he's from. He's not human. You see the shape of that head? Have you seen the shape of his head? I'm telling you, compared to some extraterrestrials out here, and get back on me later on.
Yeah.
Oh okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to go there, but I had to I love my brother. I mean, I love him, but God damn it, he's not from here, Doc. I'm telling you.
I know you love him. That's the reason why you said it.
Oh, man.
That's just too much.
I could go in on because I love that Mother Hubbard, but he ain't from here. He ain't from Chicago. I don't give a damn what he tells y'all. He ain't from here, man.
You don't own him being a Chicagoan. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, he ain't from here, Doc.
Oh, man.
Okay, I'm sorry. Please continue, Wise all, but I had to get that one in. I'm like, you're gonna do that, Doc. You gotta go in.
But
say that
you know, I'm always
this
tuning
from
into
us,
baseline, right? I'm always
Right.
checking. I'm always, and that's because when I see your show, is like you like we talk about how you're able to deliver your lines with a straight face, like it just comes out, and
that's a gift.
And that's just, to me, is amazing seeing you at work, because everything you say is with the same. It doesn't. Nothing changes on how you deliver it, but it's delivered in the manner that it's supposed to be delivered.
Mm-hmm.
If you understand what I'm saying,
I do. I do. No, and that goes back to one simple philosophy I have with that: know thyself. To thy own self be true. Know who you are, love who you are, embrace yourself, scars and all. Because if you don't do that, you can't do this. As far as I'm concerned, you have to embrace everything about oneself in order for that oneself to go to the masses. And that's the only way I see it. It could be done. We have too many copycats in all types of fields that it is already. Everybody's copying out somebody else. Everybody wants to be the next so-and-so. Let's try being the first you. Let's try that for a change and see what happens.
Yeah.
Just might be surprised.
And it's funny that people don't want to subscribe to that. They want to be the next something. And then they promote wanting to be the next somebody. You know, I mean, in sports, we hear it all the time. You know, who's going to be the next Michael Jordan? Who's going to be the next Kobe Bryant? Well, nobody. Who's going to be the next Tom Brady? Nobody. Peyton Manning, nobody. And it's best for them to be the first whomever they are, because that's how you're going to fully appreciate them, because you will appreciate them uniquely to everybody else, because you got a chance to see them do it the way that they did it. They achieved greatness, like you said, which is a perfect way of saying this, Base. It is a way, but it's not the way. You know, so, I mean, Montana got his rings a way. Brady got his rings a way. Now Mahomes got his rings a way. But they didn't do it the same way as the other ones. They did it the unique way. They had a unique style that got them to the chip multiple times, all three of them. So I love the fact that you were saying celebrate the one thing that is unique, and that is you. And have that come out of you. And if it does, then chances are people will embrace you if you have a personality that's worthy to embrace.
Exactly.
If not, you might be in trouble. But if you try to pattern yourself after somebody, you will be hated on for being a copycat. So yeah, I fully grasp that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, we're gravitating toward those type of people because they're doing it. They're doing it in 3D, but once again, it's their way. I don't know if your audience is probably not familiar with a good old singer. There's a way before my time too. I mean, I'm old, but I'm not decrepit. Not yet anyway, if I'm blessed to be decrepit. Frank Sinatra, God bless his soul. He had a song called, I Did It My Way.
My Way. Mm-hmm.
It was, and so when you listen to the lyrics, it goes back to like, I don't know about anybody else's way, my way. This is the way I did it. So I think that same philosophy applies here when you look at, again, and you're right, Cole, it goes, we always expect somebody to say the next so-and-so, because that's how society is, looking for the next greatness. But then I think for me, when the next greatness happens, it's a surprise.
It is.
I don't think that we should put onus unless they want onus on themselves. I won't be the next so-and-so. I was asked once in an interview, and I forgot the person that they were referring me to, about if so-and-so stepped up, they're a legendary broadcaster here in Chicago. If so-and-so stepped down and you were asked to take their position, how would you feel about taking on their footsteps? And I replied, those footsteps belong to that person, whoever is retiring. I'm putting on my own pair of shoes and starting my own path.
I love that.
Yeah, let those footprints belong to somebody else. I got to start my own footprints, so I don't need to wear his shoes. I got to put my own shoes on and start my own road. And that's to be said of anybody that's out here doing this or doing anything in life. You have to, obviously, you're walking the path that's traveled. It's your path and nobody else's. And you have to realize that there's going to be pitfalls and trials and tribulations. That's for anybody. The key thing is, can you dust yourself off? One thing I like about the movie Rocky Balboa, first of all, Sylvester Stallone does not give enough credit. He is a brilliant writer. He really is. The scene we're talking outside his son at Adrian's, and he's like, nobody hits harder than life, but the key thing is to dust yourself off and keep moving forward. And he keeps telling his son that. It's like, look, because his son was saying, Dad, you cast a big shadow. And he was like, look, I may cast a big shadow, but that's my shadow. If you want something, to go out and get it. Don't blame me or her or anybody else. You got to get that. That's what winning is all about. And and Sylvester Stallone wrote that stuff.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely right. It's you can easily. It's easy for you to. I think it's easier for people to blame mothers when they don't succeed, and they don't realize that it's how you're thinking about it. It's your mindset. It's how you're approaching it. If you keep approaching it like I'm the victim, then that's what you're always going to be. You need to go into the mindset like, regardless of what obstacles I'm facing in life, I'm gonna, like you said, pick myself up, dust myself off, keep it moving. Because the moment you stay and you wallow in your self pity and you're like, oh, woe's me, oh, woe, you're gonna lose. And then you're wondering why things happen, why the same negative things are happening. Well, that's the energy you're putting. When you're in that self-doubt, in that self-pity, and you're saying, oh, it's me, it's look at what's happening to me. What are you talking about? It's happening to everyone. People go through something different. People go through situations in their lives. You're not the only one that is going through struggles in life.
Right.
Everyone has their struggles. Everyone has their issues, and some of us hide it better than others, or they just know when it's time for them to express it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah, it is true. Or they not only know how to express it, they understand that they, or at least if you go through enough of them and you understand that trials are meant to make you better, they tell the story because that story is at its end. And they can actually say to you, well, I did go through this, and it was horrible, and man, I was terrible. But look at me now. I suffered through all of that. I traversed through all of this, and I am the person that you see now. And I don't smell like smoke. I'm dealing with two widowers here on this panel right now. I don't have that. I don't have that testimony. You two do. And you two are probably two of the most jovial people I know. But you had to deal with that pain and learn how to navigate it, and probably still at times have to navigate it still. But the story is not the struggle. The story is, I now have made it to this point where the tragedy and the travesty does not define me. And it makes me look at the both of you with higher respect because you all have done that. You all have done that work, and now you move forward, and I can't tell that you suffered such a huge loss. Because that's not your story. The story I hear is a legend in radio. The story I hear is a content creator who knows how to create great shows and put on good interviews. And it's a testament to the gentleman that you both are. So I appreciate the both of you, and similarly, I appreciate you in that regard.
Well, look, I obviously we both have these stories, and I don't believe in revisionist history. My wife Vicky and me, we met in high school, and I was 16 years old, and I knew then I wanted to be a monk because no girls wanted me whatsoever. I see, Wize the good-looking dude. I mean, he's probably got all types of girls when he was in high school. Me, on the other hand, no, I had to work hard, Doc, and I got to a point where, I'm going to give myself one of those brown robes and tie a rope around my waist, and just become a monk because at 16, yes sir, yeah, I thought about that. Seriously, I was going to become a eunuch and not even think about girls at all whatsoever. And then my future wife comes along. We were good friends, and we met in school, like I said, and she was always good in math, and I was never good in math. English was my top thing, and she didn't like English. All right, then we'll tell you what, I'll come over your house and you'll help me with this math crap. And with English, we'll go from there. And that's how we met. And it went from there. But no, man, no girls wanted me at all. I mean, and so I'm not hating on my man Wize up there. He looks like a light-skinned dude. But back in the day, light-skinned brothers were getting all the action, man. In the 80s, we talking about the 80s, man. Light skin was in the 80s, Doc. I mean, you had to have hair.
We all know that. Yeah,
and I'm brown from the boogie down. Ain't nothing wrong with me, but girls just kept seeing this light skin stuff. And if you were light skinned, bald headed with one hair sticking out your bald head like Tweety Bird, you can still pull girls.
Oh man,
you're right. But
you're right, he light skinned.
But you're right, bro. If I went to high school at Wize by the time I was in high school, I wouldn't have stood a chance. He
didn't make no sense.
He would have been turning down numbers right and left.
Right. I mean, and once again, my best friend, Fletch, he's light skinned. He's damn near see through. So I've known him since back in the day in grammar school. He was best man at my wedding. That's my man.
I'm not gonna lie. I didn't have problem with the ladies. I did.
Like I said,
yeah. I
mean, come on. There's a reason why I call you the Puerto Rican. I'll be sure.
It was.
Get out of here, man.
It wasn't.
Rescue me, Doc. Come on, Doc. The Puerto Rican. I'll be sure. You kidding me?
It wasn't difficult finding a date for Friday night. No.
See, there you go. Right. That's what
I'm saying. Thank you.
I'll bet that. Yes.
See, of course. See, you an honest hoe. Yeah. And all your hoes are honest. So you know what time it was back in the day, man. You know how you got down. So I ain't mad at you. But the rest of us mother hubbards, man, we had to work like dogs.
I ain't mad at you either. Yeah, I ain't mad at you either, bro.
No, but peep this though. When Vic and I became a couple, then the girl started wanting to get with me. Right? It never failed.
That's how it happens.
Man.
When you get the girl, that's when they all like, oh, he's taking that. He's like, there's something more attractive about him now.
Exactly.
I have never been.
Like, why she want him,
Chris? I have never been more attractive to women than when I had put on a wedding band. That I have been the most attractive then, for whatever reason. That is the magic elixir for women to throw panties at me. I'm like you had your chance, just too late. Get them crap.
Right. Now you won't come after me. Oh my God, man! You have no idea. I mean, you got bad breath, not breath. You got bad breath. You got bad breath with a kickstand. As long as you was light skinned, it didn't matter.
Oh my gosh.
Hey man, I was just talking to Valerie. Man, get your stank breath out of my face. Man, I don't want to talk to you, man. Get out of here. You leave me alone,
man. Oh my goodness. Oh.
Can't make this stuff up, Doc. I'm telling you, I live with it.
No, listen, you can't, man. I ain't gonna lie. I've benefited from my light skinnedness. Yes.
Yes, good for you, Doc. Good for you. As a matter of fact, I suggest on this panel, and one day it was all right with Brian, to have a Puerto Rican I'll be sure day. And in honor of my man Wize all up there, man. Because
Oh,
yeah, man, you got to celebrate that stuff. But that's good. That's good stuff, dog. Hey, man, like, no problem. He's my master effortlessly. No problem. Friday night, yeah, no problem.
And I've actually said this to him. I said I'm saying this to you out of pure love. I ain't saying it out of hate, because I was imagining myself when I was 14, 15, 16. I was like, man, if I knew Wize then, I know, boy, the honeys would be throwing their numbers at him. All he had to do was just appear.
Bro, it was the fact that I played. Listen, but the great thing was I played sports. And I was also enjoyed reading, and so it was easy for me. I've always, I don't know, I guess being smart and athletic kind of paid off as well.
Oh, of course, baseball, right?
Baseball and football.
You did
Good
play
for you,
football.
dog.
Okay.
Yeah.
You did play football. Okay. Yeah, I can see that. I totally can see that, man. Yeah. Makes you proud that I'm your friend now. Man, I hate to cut this short. But before I do let you go, sir,
yes,
Mr. Bass, you said last week that you had an important announcement to make. I think it's a wonderful time for you to do it. So what is that announcement, sir?
Well, I'm going to continue to tease, and I want everybody to join me today at 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central on Baseline. I have an announcement to make about the show. Nothing apocalyptic, nothing like that. I'm good. I know people reach out to me. Bass, you all right? Your thyroid okay? No, I'm good. I'm great. And this is going to be a great announcement for everybody involved. I'm bringing on new people at the same time, so it's going to be a lot of fun. So please join me. I'm not going to be one of those people. I have a 2-hour show. I'll not make you wait to the end of the show. I don't do things like that. So as I do my pleasantries in the beginning and fending off the hooker whores and being the bronze guy that I am, and I get through that spiel, I will make the announcement. So today, please, boys and girls, join me today via Facebook Live for me, Chris Bass, and Baseline, the Uncanny Chris Bass at that. I have to give myself a title because I deserve it. The Uncanny Chris Bass today on Baseline, 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central, with a special announcement. Hope you can join me for that.
I love the fact that this wonderful, legendary gentleman is doing the broadcasting service of not burying the lead. I totally appreciate you doing that.
Not a problem.
Well, if you want to tune into Baseline, I suggest you do. You want to be entertained, you want to be educated, and you want to actually feel as though you've been seen. This man is the man that will do it. And he joins us every single Friday at the bottom of hour number 2 of this program, and we totally appreciate him. Chris Bass, thank you, sir, once again, for the lessons and the laughs.
Well, thank you. Let me be myself again. And again, for those of you real quick, go to facebook.com and type in Chris Bass, CHRIS, B as in broadcasting, ASE. Please go tell 5 of your friends and 8 of your enemies that Chris Bass will be in the air.
I always get that number wrong. Okay, so it's 8, not 3. Got it. 5 of your friends and 8 of your enemies.
That's cool, Doc.
Love you, man, and you already know, man. I respect you and admire you. Thank you.
I love and respect you guys more. Thank you so much for the love. I love the love. Please join me today. Have a fantastic weekend. Talk to you soon.
You too, sir.
And now, the transporter to Hades, the reformer of hooker whores, and the bronze god, the one, the only, the legendary Chris Bass.
Excuse me. And tune into the Snowman Multimedia YouTube channel as a special presentation will unfold. Central State will battle Mississippi Valley State in the 25th annual Chicago Football Classic. Kickoff is at 4 p.m. Eastern. Pre-game is at 2 p.m. Eastern. And our wonderful resident play play caller Brian Snow will be the one to call all the action. That's Central State, Mississippi Valley State, and the Chicago Football Classic from Soldier Field, September 2nd. That is not tomorrow. That is next Saturday. 2 p.m. pregame, 4 p.m. kickoff. And since it's Chicago, 1 p.m. Central pregame, 3 p.m. Central kickoff. Any parting words, sir, before we do let the audience go, sir?
Peace out.
All right. Oh. And you might hear this from time to time. I don't know. He says that he might bring it back.
The following is a public service announcement from Wize El Jefe.
Boston.
This has been a public service announcement from Wize El Jefe.
Y'all really want me to bring out a retirement, don't y'all? Everybody's clamoring for it, ain't they?
I don't care. It doesn't matter to me.
I know.
You can have it stay in retirement. You can bring it back. I don't care. Laugh still the same. But yes, the fact that people want you to keep slandering Boston and Bostonians, I find that hilarious. Well, that'll do it for Snowman and the Morning with Cole Johnson. I thank you so much for Wize, for Brian, who is taking care of some business elsewhere. I am Cole, here to say the following to you. Take care. God bless. Remember to make your next move your best move. And always remember, if your dreams don't scare you, then they're simply not big enough. Dream big, do bigger. That's what Wize doing. That's what I'm doing. That's what Brian's doing. In the Fanatics Feedback Zone, I know that's what you're doing. Hopefully in the listening and viewing audience, you're doing the same thing as well. We are out of here. See you Monday. And if you're looking to see something else, why not this?
You don't know what names he was being called, and there's no and being drunk is no excuse.
No,
you still need to be held accountable for your actions. Mm-hmm. So for you to even try and flip it on that the dock worker could have de-escalated, because that's what he said. He should have dock worker should have de-escalated. How you gonna de-escalate 5 people jumping on your and beating you down? Huh? What's the de-escalation in that? Yeah. Again, MAGA, take this fat with you, because he doesn't speak for us. He could take those sheets that he was promoting on his show and wrap himself around with them and go drown himself in the pool. I could give 2
Oh my God. No. And who does Wize tell to concede in the 2024 presidential race? Well, you have to tune in to the Comey Media Incorporated YouTube channel or the Real Wize TV YouTube channel for mentality. And you can catch each and every replay on television, BS3 through Roku TV, 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central every Thursday. We thank you for your support and see ya.